So today we're going to get started in supine butterfly or Supta Baddha Konasana if you're familiar with that. So you'll just come down to your back, flat all the way down. So lower one vertebrae at a time onto your spine. And then you'll bring your soles of your feet to touch your knees out wide. And if you do have two pillows or two blocks, you can always place them underneath your knees just for a more gentle opening tonight. And then you can bring your hands to your belly to start paying attention to your breath, or face down on the ground just for some more grounding. So if you've just noticed that things have been a little chaotic for you and you need a little bit more balance and grounding, you can always place them on the floor. But once you get into your shape, just softly close your eyes. Allow your shoulders to roll down your back. And just start to tap into your breathing here. So your breath tonight will guide you through class. I will always remind you randomly throughout class tonight to use your breath to tap into it. It's a really great technique for mindfulness if you're finding yourself thinking about tons of other stuff that's going on. Just try to bring yourself back to your breathing, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed. And anything that happened today, last night's debate, other stuff going on in the world, just see if you can leave that for just the next 60 minutes so that you can enjoy your time on your mat in yoga. And just taking a moment to thank yourself for showing up tonight. And if you want to set any kind of intention or purpose for class tonight, you can go ahead and set that now. So if there's a word or a phrase or anything that comes up for you, something that you might still need, so maybe that's calm, grounding, something, whatever that word is, if the first thing that comes to you, love, peace, just set that now. And take a deep breath in, allowing your belly to fully expand all the way out. And on the exhale, sigh it all out, bring your belly all the way back in. Setting our intention for class. And throughout class tonight, I will be calling out different postures, but if there's anything that's not calling to you for whatever reason, feel free to switch it up to something else. If you feel any kind of pain or major discomfort, you know your body best. Listen to that. Don't let your ego get in the way. Try something else. Do a modification using some props. Or just back off completely, come back to Shavasana, child's pose, anything like that. And I'll always let you know when we're about halfway through each posture. So if you do need to make any adjustments or want to get deeper into something, you'll be able to do that. So as you start to open up here, you're opening up the front and back side of your body as you're laying here. And you're slowly starting to open the hip area where we tend to hold on to a lot of stuff. So just use your breath, allow it to guide you. And on your inhales, just imagine that you're filling up with as much air as possible, letting your belly get as big and puffed out as possible. And then on your exhale, releasing all of that air until you're all the way empty, so that you have a chance to bring new air and energy into your body. So just another way to reset, start over. Take a deep breath in. Big open mouth, sigh out, let something go. We'll do that one more time. Big breath in. And a big open mouth, sigh out, let it go. On your next inhale, slowly start to close your knees back together like a book. And then it might feel really good to sway your knees from side to side just to loosen up your low back. And if you did have an opportunity to grab your strap, grab onto that now. So if you still need to run and grab that, I'll stall just a little bit. But for those of you that have your strap, you're just gonna lie back down on your spine whenever you've gotten your strap and extend your left leg long, and then you'll bend your right knee in so that you can hook your strap on the ball mount of your foot, so that fleshy part of your foot, avoid the inner part, just because if you're holding onto the strap really tightly, you don't wanna cause any damage there. So once you've got it in a good spot, start to extend your leg up to the ceiling, and then you'll want to slide your hands down your strap just so that your elbows can touch the ground and rest there. And you can either put the strap in both hands like this, or you can hold it side by side, whatever feels good to you. And we're just gonna nudge our toes just a little bit more towards the crown of our head. So on your exhales, just imagine that you can bring your toes all the way towards your forehead, which would never happen unless you were the most flexible person ever, but just imagine that you can get there. We'll just hold it here for a few minutes before we open up to the side. So using your breath, feeling the great hamstring stretch that's happening in the back side of your body. And for those of you who sit pretty much all day for work like I do, your low back might be extra tweaky lately, and your tight hamstrings are likely the culprit. So as much as this strap hamstring situation sucks and it's hard to stay in for as long as we have to hold it, it does wonders for low back, for your posture in general, for just really releasing your hamstrings and lengthening your body. And you'll see when we are done with this leg that you will actually be longer on this side than your left side. So it does truly work. So just think about that as you're holding this, about lengthening, and you're undoing all the damage that you do to yourself all day long. So if that helps you hold this, then just think about that. And then on every exhale, just keep trying to bring your toes more towards the crown of your head. So if you've hit your edge and you want to hang out here, that's great. If you feel like you can take it a little further, just trying to keep nudging your toes again closer to your head. And if you find yourself needing to bend your left knee, just try to back off a little bit. You want to really try to keep both of your hips and your sits bones square on the ground and your left leg straight. So that might mean that your right leg needs to not be as close to your forehead as possible. So listen to your body on that. And then on your exhale, we are going to go towards the right hand side. So grab onto your strap with your right hand and just start to slowly bring your foot towards the right side of your mat. And if you were thinking of a dial of a clock, you're aiming for about 3 o'clock, somewhere in that area. And the key is to keep your left hip anchored on the mat. So if you find yourself just going all the way over and then your left butt cheek is coming off, back off, so that both of your bottom, the whole thing can be on the mat, and then you'll just really try to go over to the right side without lifting off of the left. And once you've hit your edge, you'll notice that you feel a great stretch in the inner thigh area and still the hamstring area as well. And if you find yourself gripping on with all your might with your right hand, just try to relax as much as you can. You might want to try to slide your hand under strap a little bit just to relieve some of that tension. And use your breath here. Again, we won't be here forever, so use your breath. We only hold each of these for about 2 minutes each. So by the time you get into it and start holding it, it's almost like you're almost out of it. So that helps you breathe through. Just remember that, again, you're undoing so much from your day. So try to focus on that. Reminder to breathe. So you're holding your breath or clenching onto your jaw here. Just try to relax the muscles in your face and use your breath to guide you through. Take a deep breath in and a big open mouth sigh out. Let it go. On your next inhale, you'll grab onto your strap with your left hand, and then you'll slowly start to bring your right leg over towards the left-hand side. So about that 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock position on the clock. And you should feel the stretch in your right IT band, so on the outer edge of your leg and in your hip area, and then again, still in that hamstring area. So just breathe in here. A lot of us are really tight in that area, so use your breath. And again, be mindful of your grip on the strap or leash or whatever you have. Try to relax as much as you can. I know that sounds silly, but really, if you're clenching onto any muscles in your face or you're grasping onto your prop so much, you're undoing some of the opening that we're doing in the rest of our body. So just try to breathe through. Use your breath here. Take a deep breath in. Big sigh out, let it go. On your next inhale, make your way back to center. Just hold for a beat here, just bringing your toes as much as you can towards the crown of your head. And then on your next exhale, just bend your knee enough to get the strap from underneath your foot. And then extend your leg back towards the ceiling, and then start to bring it down to meet your left foot. So just take a moment here to notice the difference in length in your feet. Your right foot should just be slightly longer than your left. And that was the length that we've created on this side just from holding that stretch for a few minutes. So we're gonna take that on the other side so we're evened out. So when you're ready, grab your strap, bend your left knee in towards your chest, and then again, find that fleshy ball mount part of your foot towards your toes, hook your strap, and then just extend your leg up towards the ceiling, and finding what feels good for you as far as holding the strap goes. And this side will likely feel different, so you might be tighter on this side, you might not get nearly as close to the crown of your head as the other side. That's okay. Just hold here. Use your breath. And when you start to not feel the stretch as intensely anymore, see if you can just try to nudge your toes more towards the crown of your head. So you can leverage the strap to help you do that. Again, trying to relax your hands and your arms as much as possible as you're creating this length here. But just use your breath. And sometimes it does help to close your eyes if you haven't done so already, just to breathe into it, to allow instead of resisting the opening that's happening. Just accept that we'll be here for a little bit. And again, we won't be holding this forever. So can you just try to relax just a little bit more to help create that space in your body? See if you can bring your toes just a little bit more towards the crown of your head. Hold there. On the next exhale, grab onto the strap with your left hand, and then slowly bring your foot towards the left-hand side of your mat. So towards that 9 or 10 o'clock position. And again, you should feel that in your inner left thigh and still on the hamstring area. So just try to relax here. And sometimes it helps if you take your right hand and hold it on your right hip, just to square your hips down and keep them grounded. So if you notice you're coming off of your mat a little bit, just see if that helps you stay there. And close your eyes if you need. Don't forget to breathe. And again, to try to relax your left hand, the grip around your prop as much as possible. Take a deep breath in. Full sigh out, let it go. Your next inhale, grab onto your strap with your right hand, and then start to make your way towards the right side of your mat, towards that 2 or 3 o'clock position. And your left hip and IT area along your left-hand side should feel the stretch here. So just finding a position that you can hold for a few minutes and that you can also feel the opening in. Close your eyes here if you need. Usually this one's very challenging just because of the fact that you're holding your leg across your body, and then you're also getting really into that hip area, that IT band, which again is so tight for most of us. So if you close your eyes and just focus on your breathing, it'll help you get through, but just try to, again, relax as many muscles in your body as you can. So your upper body to hold on to your strap, just see if you can release and relax just a little bit more. Where can you soften? Take a deep breath in. Big sigh out, let it go. On your next inhale, make your way back to center, and then just pause here, nudge your toes as much as you can towards the crown of your head. And then on your exhale, bend your knee, remove your strap. Inhale, extend your leg up towards the sky, and then slowly start to lower it to meet your right foot. So now your feet should feel even again. So just think about that extra length that you just created in your body. We are done with the strap, so you can put that off to the side. And then just bring your knees in towards your chest and just sway gently from side to side. Just do loosen up your low back and do some of that intense stretching that we just did. And then when you're ready to make your way up to a seated position, we're gonna head to a tabletop. And from here, we are actually going to come into child's pose. So toe tips to touch, knees about mats width distance apart, sink down into your heels, and then you'll just crawl yourself forward so that your forearms come down to the mat. And then you'll want your forehead to come onto something. So if you can't bring it to your mat, you might want to put a pillow there or a couple of blocks, whatever feels good to you. If you do want a upper body lat stretch, you can always stretch towards the right side of your mat with your fingertips. So just crawling your fingertips over to the right, anchoring down evenly in both sits bones. So your left sits bone might want to come off of your heel, just really try to ground that back down. And then you should feel that stretch on the left hand side. And I'll let you know when we're halfway through so you can swap it out if you decide to take that variation tonight. So in your child's pose, just really try to soften. So imagine that you're melting into the mat and seeing where you can release some tension. So if you're holding on to tension in your upper body, just trying to melt a little bit more into the floor, letting your shoulders slide down your back, and any tension that you're holding on into your face, if you could just relax your face muscles a little bit. Close your eyes if you haven't done so already. And just really sink into your heels, allowing your hips to open even further. Child's pose is so great for so many reasons, but it really just helps ground you. It's a great resting pose. So if you're ever in yoga class and you just need a reset or a break, or you just don't like whatever pose the yoga teacher is asking you to do, come to child's pose. It's a really great reset pose, as I mentioned, and just a way to reconnect and recollect yourself and your breathing. And it also is more of an active resting pose because you're still stretching out so many parts of your body here. Your upper body, your hips. Just breathe deep, sink in. And every exhale, can you just imagine that you're sinking even more, you're melting your chest more into the mat, you're just opening your hips more as you sink down. Anything that you have been worried about or thinking about, or just has been in a constant loop in your brain, just see if you can release and let that go. And we're about halfway through, so if you did take the variation where you crawled yourself over to the right-hand side, just inhale and slowly make your way over towards the left. Again, being mindful of your right sits bone, so just seeing if you can ground that more into the mat as you extend your forearms over towards the left-hand side. And then just melting in and relaxing into the mat as you settle in here. Take a deep breath in. And a big open mouth, sigh out, let it go. If you are over towards your left-hand side, just scroll back to center. And then everyone, when you're ready, just start to make your way back to a tabletop shape. Bring your knees in, and you'll just want to sway your hips from side to side just to release your hips, low back. You might have some pops that happen like I just did with my hips. So maybe you're releasing stuff there. And then when you're ready, we are going to take sleeping swan or pigeon pose on the right hand side. If you want, you can always take this on your back, but from tabletop here, you'll just slide your right knee in towards your right wrist, and then you'll bring your right shin parallel with the top of your mat, bringing your right ankle towards your left wrist, and then extend your left leg long behind you. And before you come all the way down, just take a peek over either shoulder just to square your hips down to the mat. Then take your gaze up, and then start to crawl yourself forward to put your sleeping swan or pigeon to sleep. So if you cannot bring your forehead down to the mat, you can always bring a pillow down here to rest your forehead on. A block or a pillow underneath your right hip might feel really good if you're having any trouble getting into this pose. You can also roll up a blanket or put a pillow underneath your knee if you have any knee issues. You can always come to your mat, come back on your back and take this on your back if this is way too much to do on your belly like this. So always a reminder, that's an option for you. Frog is also an option if you're not feeling pigeon tonight. So you can just come down to your belly and then goal post your arms and bring your knee about 90 degrees in towards one of your elbows, and then you would be in frog position instead. So just finding what's gonna work for you, knowing that hip openers usually are not anyone's favorite pose. Typically, we hold on to a lot of stuff in our hips, and so it's gonna be not the best feeling to release some of that and open that up. So if you find yourself fidgeting a lot, you're moving around, you're not really getting comfortable, just try to stay still. Use your breath as much as you can to stay still. Because the more that you fidget, the less that you're actually stretching and getting into this posture. So just a great reminder to you, if you have a really hard time staying still, if you want to get the benefits and the most out of your yoga practice tonight, just really try to use your breath in order to stay as still as possible. And I know how hard that is for some of us, me included. So gentle reminder to all of us. And as you guys know, we don't hold this stuff forever. So just see where you can relax. And we've been in this side for about halfway already. So use your breath, close your eyes, soften in as much as you can. Really try to slow your breathing down here. So if you find yourself shallow breathing in your chest or just rapidly breathing because you're not loving this pose, just really try to lengthen your inhales and your exhales, seeing if you can make them even and also make them a little bit longer. Really fill up as much as you can, expand your belly out. And then on your exhale, just releasing all the air, getting all of it out until you're totally empty so that you have an opportunity to bring in new energy, new really good breath in your next inhale. And if your mind is wandering in this pose, just try to nudge it back to being on your mat and just being aware that you're even letting your mind wander is mindfulness. So don't beat yourself up over it. More about acceptance and knowing that we're doing it and just bringing yourself back to what you're doing here presently, enjoying the moment, not trying to think too much about what's next or what happened in the past. So you could even apply that to your yoga practice, not thinking of a past pose that we did that maybe you didn't enjoy, or thinking ahead of what is she gonna make me do next. Just being here in pigeon, knowing that, again, we won't be here holding this forever, and that you can get through anything that comes your way. Using your breath, being here, being mindful. Take one more deep breath in. Big open mouth, sigh out, let it go. On your next inhale, slowly start to make your way out in a way that feels good to you. So that might look way different to all of us, but you might want to come back to tabletop and sway your hips from side to side. You could extend your right leg back, plugging your toes into the mat, really pushing back to get a calf stretch. You can take knee circles in one direction and then in the other. Again, anything to bring some blood flow and life back into that side. And when you're ready, we're just gonna swap that out. So again, in your tabletop position, just sliding your left knee in towards your left wrist, bringing your left shin parallel to the top of your mat, your left knee or your left ankle in towards your right wrist. You can talk today. Send your right leg long behind you, and then just take a peek over either shoulder again, just to square your hips down to the mat. Inhale, take your gaze up to the sky, and then exhale, slowly start to come down on the side. And again, you might need props on this side, you might not have needed them on the other side. We're different, we carry stuff different, we're not symmetrical at all in our bodies. So you need to listen to what you need on this side. It's gonna feel different than the other side. One side's always more difficult. So hopefully that was your right-hand side and this left side is not as terrible. But either way, just really, again, use your breath here. Send light. You're breathing to your hip area. Just release that a little bit more. See if you can soften, relax your jaw. Really try to use your breath and relax as much as you can, not holding on to too much tension in your upper body. Pigeon is your opportunity to really let things go. So if you've been holding on to some stuff, dealing with some hard things in your life right now, or just in general, just see if you can take this opportunity to release, Not have to carry all that around with you all the time. To see what you can start to let go of or move past or accept, or whatever that might look like for you. As hard as that is a lot of the time. And we're already halfway through this side, so hopefully that brought a tiny smile to your face. And again, just see where you can soften. See if you can start to really lengthen your inhales and your exhales. This is a great opportunity to focus in on your breathing. Our breathing and slowing down our breath really helps get you ready for bed. Lengthening your inhales and your exhales and just paying attention to your breath just really resets that part of your body, helps you be more in tune and aware of how you're feeling. And trying to find that stillness. If you have found yourself moving a bunch, really trying to breathe in and open. Take a deep breath in. Big sigh out, let something go. On your next inhale, start to make your way out of this side. So anything that will feel good to you, then you can extend your left leg back, touching your toes, really get into your calf area, or you can take some hip circles in one direction and then the other, swaying your hips from side to side. And when you're ready, we're going to come down to our backs. So come to a seat and then slowly start to make your way down to your spine, all the way on your mat. And bring your knees in towards your chest. Tee out your arms. And then start to bring your knees over towards the left-hand side of your mat. So your right shoulder blade likely popped off of the mat when you did that. So see if you can ground both of your shoulder blades onto the mat. You might need to come off of your twist a little bit or just reposition your upper body to do that. And you can always bring a block or a pillow underneath your knees or in between them just to help out with opening up your low back a little bit more. And then when you found a good shape for your body, just start to take your gaze over towards your right fingertips and softly close your eyes once you're there. So just getting into this supine twist shape, which is just so good for bringing out our internal organs, giving ourselves just a reset here. It's good for our digestive system. And it also helps open up low back, and you probably also feel it in your right hip area as well. It's another good hip opener. So just trying to relax and breathe in here. You can always bring your left hand to your belly just to focus in on your breathing if you'd like to start really slowing your breath down. Just close your eyes. Enjoy this gentle stretch. We're halfway through this side. So if you need to, you can make some adjustments here, but if you're feeling good where you're at, just try to stay still and getting the benefits out of stillness in this posture. Take a deep breath in. Full open mouth, sigh out, let it go. Bring your knees back in towards center. And then just sway gently from side to side, loosening up your low back. And when you're ready, we are gonna just swap that out to the other side. So you'll tee your arms back out and then slowly just bring your knees over towards the right. And then just be mindful of your left shoulder blade, seeing if you need to make any adjustments with your upper body. You might need props on this side for your knees, or in between, underneath. And then when you feel like you're in a good spot, just start to take your gaze over towards your left fingertips and then close your eyes once they make their way there. And you can bring your right fingertips to your belly to pay attention to your breath here if you'd like. We're about halfway through this side, so if your mind has started to wander, just try to bring it back to your mat. We constantly think about things that have happened, things that have yet to happen, and instead of spending time here, we're thinking about everything else. And before you know it, days, weeks, months pass, and you're wondering where the heck did time go? So tomorrow is October already, which is just insane to me. I looked at the calendar and couldn't believe it. And if your year has been anything like how mine has, it's like January, February, and now we're in October. So just really trying to be more mindful and present and have gratitude for those good things that you can find, which seem so far and few between these days, but trying to hold on to those little moments or just things that you can be grateful for. So maybe it's something in your life that brings you joy, someone in your life that brings you joy, some new hobby or thing that you've picked up, a book you've read, more time to do something that you've been putting off. Maybe it's getting into yoga. So just thinking of those things that for this year you might have not had an opportunity for. And as crazy as this year has been, trying to focus on those bright spots and really help you be here and be present and, enjoy those things as they're happening instead of wearing them away or thinking about other stuff. Easier said than done, I know, but it's just a really great reminder to us all that there are some things that we can be grateful for too. I'm grateful for you guys and for being able to do this every week. So there's some gratitude too. When you're ready, start to bring your knees back to center. And then just swaying from side to side, loosening up your low back. And if you've got pillows or blocks or even a big book nearby, we're gonna do supported bridge. So if you have a pillow or a couple throw pillows, or you've got a yoga block, or again, like a really big book, that will work too. But you'll just come down back to your spine whenever you've got your prop. And you'll know that you're in the right position if you bring your fingertips down to the mat, then you can wiggle them to touch your heels. So you'll know that your heels are about the right distance away. And then on your next inhale, just lift your hips up enough just to slide whatever prop you have underneath your low back, so that sacrum area. And you guys probably know by now the trick, but you can always lift your legs up to the ceiling to see if you can let go of the prop, and if you don't tumble over, you're in the right spot. So you can always give that a try if you need. But props have different heights, so if you need to lower them or make them higher just to get your heart above your head, you can do that now. And then once you have found a good position, bring your hands to your belly and close your eyes. And really try to focus on lengthening your inhales and your exhales here as we start to close out class. So expanding your belly far out as you can on your inhale, allowing all this really good energy and air into your body. And then on your exhale, just releasing your belly button into your spine and allowing all of that air to fully release out of your body. And this could be an opportunity to count your breaths and your inhales and your exhales just to see if they're even, how much space you can create while you're laying here. Tuning into your breath. You're giving your heart a little bit of a break. And your next inhale, lift your hips up just enough to remove your top. Lower your hips back down. And then you might want to sway your knees from side to side. You can always take a happy baby here, grabbing onto the outer edges of your feet, swaying from side to side. And then when you're ready, unless there's anything else that your practice is calling for, start to make your way to your Shavasana, your resting shape. So you might just want to extend your legs out wide to a wide V. And then you can place your hands on your belly or on the ground facing down. You can always come to a wall and do legs at the wall, one of my favorites. Anything that you can relax and rest in for a few moments here. And before you fully start to rest in your final resting shape, just see if you can soften the muscles in your face. So if you're holding onto any tension between your eyebrows, just seeing if you can soften that area, or relaxing your jaw a little bit, seeing if you can remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth, rolling your shoulders down your back, maybe even releasing tension in your palms. So you're gripping on to your strap too much tonight, or you just been holding on to too many things, just seeing if you can soften there. And then releasing your legs so much that your feet can fall to either side, or just relax a little bit. Take a deep breath in. And then on your next sigh out, just relax as much as you can and focus on your breathing for the next few minutes. Stay in Shavasana as long as you need. If you're craving more rest, stay where you are, and you can tune off the sound of my voice. I'll close Zoom. You can continue to rest. If you'd like to close out your practice so that you can get ready for bed, just start to bring some awareness and attention back to your body. Perhaps you just slightly wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then gently make your way to either side for a brief stop in fetal pose. Closing your eyes once you get there. Taking a moment to thank yourself for showing up tonight. And on your next inhale, slowly push yourself to a seated position. Bringing your hands to your heart center, and then slowly just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Big sigh out, release it out. Breathe in something good, something awesome that you still need. Breathe out something that you don't. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Namaste.